Greetings everyone, it's Phil here, going to bring you some Heart of the Swarm action today. It is going to be on Star Station, one of the prettiest maps in the Heart of the Swarm beta. Hopefully that'll stick around on the ladder and everything like that. I kind of like this map, because I play Terran and Protoss. I kind of feel like in TvT it can be really interesting just because of how much ridiculous amount of space there is for Reapers to jump up. But of course, as everyone will know, Reapers are a big unit to see in the TvT matchup. But other than that, I think it's a really cool map. It looks very nice. Let's see who we've got here, starting at the top left-hand side, the complete opposite corner of the map to his opponent. It is ROOTheOgnis. He's going to be our red Terran here. He's having a little chat about mech in TvP. His opponent down here looks, looks like a funny little name here, Canned Heat, but it is actually Startail Squirtle. So we'll see how these guys are going to go. I don't know what they're... Okay, they're just sort of having a discussion about what the difference is between Bionic and Mech, but we'll see. Perhaps Ognis going to go down the path of Mech. I do know that he is certainly capable of doing that. We've seen quite a few replays. In fact, if you look back through the channel, I'm pretty sure I do have a couple of games from the Ognis where he has done Mech, whether it be TvP or TvZ. He's very good at it. Of course, there is also another game on the channel with him against Gumiho when they both went Mech, and it was a really interesting fight. So make sure you go and check out all of those games. It's quite a lot of fun. Looks like we'll get a quick expansion from Squirtle's so funny. Tag WTF Immortal GG. That's like quote of the day for me right now. But the Ognis gonna put down the command center pretty quickly. They're talking about Mech. Let's have a quick chat about Mech. In Heart of the Swarm, it feels a little bit more doable than it did in Wings of Liberty. In Wings of Liberty, it was a very difficult kind of thing to do. A lot of people will say it's just completely impossible. I think that's sort of going a little bit too far. It is definitely extremely difficult to do in TvP, getting a good mech play going, but it was definitely doable. You just had to be perfect with everything you did. Every building, every timing, every upgrade, everything, every movement, every shot that tanks take, all these kinds of things had to be extremely perfect for mech to work in TvP and Wings of Liberty. But in Heart of the Swarm, things have changed around a little bit. You've of course got the Hellbats, which can help out with dealing with zealots, and of course tanking quite a lot of damage. You've got the high impact payload on the Thors, which can do a really good job against air units. Of course, they are really wonderful to have, especially against Tempest, just because of the range that they have. 10 range on the high impact payload Thors means that you can blast down those Tempests from far away, despite the extra damage that they do throw on top of you. So I think it's still a very difficult prospect to try and use mech sometimes, but in Heart of the Swarm, I think it's a little bit easier than it once was. So we'll see. It doesn't look particularly like he's going to go for it just yet. It's kind of hard to say, because when you go for a fast expansion like the Ognis has, you do generally tend to grab a couple of barracks like this. Whether it be 2 or 3, you do need quite a few Marines out right at the start, because you can't just simply say, alright, let's get a bunch of factories, because you need a lot of gas. And if you don't have the gas, then, you're going to fall down and you won't have enough units. Of course, as we can see here, looks like Squirtle is going to push up with a single stalker, going to perhaps grab a little bit of damage, just a couple of shots on each of those Marines. May try and get a kill on one of them there. Nope, a little bit further back, so he can't actually take the kill there. The bunker completes, and it looks like Ognis is going to have a little bit of trouble. Squirtle, being very cheeky here, is able to find, well, he had a little bit of a sweet spot where he was able to take a couple of shots at the supply depot, but not really too much action going on right here at the start. Squirtle, meanwhile, back at home for him, interestingly enough, has gotten started on an Oracle, as we can see. So he is going to go for that quick Oracle play to try and get some harassment going on his Terran opponent. Just these first few stalkers, just having a quick little poke, trying to see, just testing the waters here. How much does Ognis actually have? How many Marines are out there? Wow, that Marine actually just got in the bunker and was able to survive a shot that should have killed him. That was really weird. But the Oracle is going to come across very soon. It looks like Ognis not really prepared for any type of Oracle play just as of yet. He's having to keep these Marines right at the front here, being very annoying, keeping them there. Unfortunately for Ognis, he is going to need to get some defense going very soon. In fact, where is the Oracle? Has it actually come out? Oh, he's going to sit back. He's going to grab a couple of Oracles before he comes across. Very interesting play there from Squirtle. It looks like he will try and finally expand down here to the natural. It looks like I was going to say, these probes, it's a very weird to see a pro gamer actually have idle probes like that. But he is still trying to take shots at the supply depot here. Meanwhile, for Ognis, finally got a factory started, stim being researched here. So I don't think he's going to go for Mechanol. Probably not worth the investment anymore. But what he has done is taken down 2 of the Stalkers that were there for Squirtle, and that will mean that this pressure will probably fall back for the time being. And in fact, we may actually see some of the Marines retreat back into the mineral lines as well, just to make sure that he is protected against any possible air attacks that may come along. Speaking of which, the Oracles for Squirtle now done. Wow, he's going for a 4th. Are you serious? Alright, so he's going to go, I think, for a double-pronged double Oracle attack. We're probably going to see one of them, 2 of them fly in the back here into the natural and just try and get as much damage as they can there. The other 2 will try and fly down the back edge here and just come through and just decimate that mineral line at that back end there. Now, he does certainly need to do that, of course, with a very slow expansion from Squirtle. He is a little bit behind on his worker count right now, so he will need to certainly get some damage done. And with the 4th Oracle popping out, I presume we're going to see the attack commence right now. Yeah, there we go. Right, I was going to say, if you're trying to bank up past like 4 Oracles, then you may run into a little bit of trouble, just because generally by that point the Terran will have either adequate defense on the ground with Marines to try and force back the Oracles, or they'll have at least a turret, or maybe even scan what's going on. So for the moment, Ognis has not even scouted out at all. He does know that his opponent is down here, but didn't get to see what's inside the main, hasn't put down a scan or anything like that. So he is just going to be relying on, you know, just some good reactionary play. In fact, the Marine is going to see that the Oracles are floating by. There are 4 of them, in fact, so he is going to need to get his units back up inside the main base here. Looks like only a couple of Marines there, and these Oracles are going to do a ridiculous amount of damage, forcing a cancel on the 3rd command center there. Now inside the mineral line, they are going to go to absolutely nuts on this base here, and they do dispose of quite a few of those workers. In fact, he has gotten so many kills right now, picking up a couple of Marines and Marauders with that as well. But Ognis not going to stand on ceremony, going to push across to try and get some damage done himself. Not really getting too much done. Good reactions from Squirtle, and while all that is going on, the 4 Oracles inside the main base are just obliterating this orbital command here. And in fact, wow, are they actually going to... I know he's going to go for some of the upgrades there. Alright, fair enough. I think it would be nice to see him just try and snipe off that command center. Very old school play here. Of course, a long time, well, not a long time ago, but a little while ago, a couple of months back, Oracles actually did just amazing amounts of damage against buildings. So we do see here that he is trying to resurrect that kind of strategy with a 4 Oracle push. The orbital command is burning down, keep in mind, so if Ognis doesn't start the repair, there we go, I was going to say, he needs to get those SCVs back across as quickly as possible, because they are going to fail at repairing the orbital command if they don't get there soon. Now, as we see, the worker count has drastically turned around. We've got 40 workers for the Ognis right now. His opponent, Squirtle, has got 55 probes in the mineral lines. So, Squirtle, after a very, well, you know, if it was 2 months ago, I'd say that was a standard attack, doing something like that. But now, at this sort of point of the beta where the Oracle damage has changed around a bit, that is a very unorthodox attack. So we see him now float around, trying to get some more damage done inside the natural mineral line as well. Still 14 kills by Squirtle, not too bad at all. Just looking at the upgrades, we do have the Ognis up to 1-1 on his upgrades right now. So he does certainly have a lot of power in this Bioforce. It's just that they sort of can't really push past the force fields that are here, and of course, you know, he's not going to be able to drop too well, because Squirtle is well aware that there could be these kinds of drops that come in. Of course, this big map very vulnerable to the drops, just as they are to the Oracle attacks. So, you know, you do have to be careful of that kind of thing. So, it looks like Ognis will try and go for a drop down at the back of Squirtle's base. He's up to a total of 5 racks right now, still researching 2. We will probably get some extra upgrades coming along very soon as well. He is now just pushing across through the southern portion of the map. A couple of Marines spotting out those Oracles, trying to pick them up, but unfortunately they're a little bit too fast right now, and the drop is going to commence. He's attacking into the third base, looks to try and drop into the main there. The Stalkers are ready to rumble, but Ognis pulling back on that straight away is able to keep the Medivacs alive, and it looks like he may even try and get through the back door into the natural here, which is relatively unprotected, and it looks like there will be the Photon Overcharge available on that the Mothership core, and it looks like the drop will continue on. A Photon Overcharge going up there, so it looks like Ognis not really going to get too much damage done. Medivacs have to get out of there quick smart, and while Ognis did force a cancel on the third base of Squirtle, he wasn't able to really get too much else more than that, but he has been able to work on the worker count right now, up to 61 SCV. Squirtle sitting on 62. A third base already up for the Ognis, so he's going to be comfortable there with that extra income coming through. So what does he do? Of course, he slams down a couple of extra barracks. He's up to 8 now in total. Ghost Academy, Reese is going to get researching on the Mobius reactor soon, I would expect, just so that he can have, you know, a couple of ghosts down. Why does he want ghosts, you ask? Well, there are quite a few Immortals in this force, which is a very interesting choice of units for Squirtle. He's of course got the standard sort of Stalker and the Colossus and a lot of Zealots there as well, but with those Immortals there, that's a really really interesting kind of thing to see at this point of the game. It's not as if he grabbed a couple of Immortals and opened up with the Immortals and utilized them to defend against any early Marauder attacks. He actually got those out like just after the Robo completed, and which was quite late, of course. So it'll be interesting to see how Ognis decides to play this. A couple of Colossi going to defend against this incursion in the top side of Squirtle's base. The Oracles, meanwhile, trying to get some more damage done. Of course, as we mentioned before, not as powerful when dealing with buildings anymore, but they certainly will power it down if they're left to do some damage here, and they have a ton of energy left as well, so they are actually going to kill this this Ghost Academy. We're going to see that fall down. Down it goes, and it looks like the Oracles will continue on trying to take down this one Raxia, but the harassment from Ognis still attempts to continue. The Medivac just bouncing around the map trying to find a weak spot in the defenses of Squirtle, but unfortunately he is not able to find one, and the few Marines that pop out of this base are now finally going to help defend against that Oracle attack there. But Squirtle up to 170, well 180 supply now. His upgrades at 1-1 on the Armorer and the attack upgrades. He's also got, of course, the Extended Thermal Lance, and we'll probably see him pick up a couple more upgrades very soon. Yeah, he's got +2 on the Armorer on the way, not to mention Charge. Of course, the Templar Archives also being built now as well, so he's going to move into the Templar tech. Of course, a very common thing to see these days is the players just sort of throwing down a couple of Colossi, maybe 1, maybe 2, and then switching over to the Templar tech just to try and catch out the Terran player before they are able to, you know, get some good defenses up against Templar, which of course include Ghosts. Now, the issue is, for Squirtle, is that because of those few Immortals, or whether it was just intuition from Ognis, I'm not sure if he scanned, no, he hasn't scanned the Templar Archives, so perhaps just a bit of great game sense there. He already has 7 Ghosts out. These guys already have quite a lot of energy as well, so he's going to have a lot of EMP available for when that Templar switch occurs. He just needs to make sure that he does keep them alive for the time being, because there is a big push coming across from Squirtle. It looks like he wants to get some damage done, going to try and push in towards this attack region here. Medevac's coming along, Stim going up, SCV's even coming into the fight there. A couple of EMPs going down on top of the Immortals. They have no more shields left. The Colossus die a painful death. In fact, another one comes into the fight, but a little bit late here. I think that Ognis may be able to secure a win in this battle here. Yeah, just finally polishes off the remaining few Colossi, and Squirtle is forced to retreat. So, just looking at the losses there, it looks like the losses will continue, in fact, for Squirtle. He's lost the Templar Archives, the Robotics Bay is now dead. Colossi are madly trying to scramble out of the Robo facility to try and defend against this, but with the, looks like he will be okay to defend with the Photon Overcharge on the Nexus going down, and a single Colossus able to stand out here and defiantly bash against those Marines and Marauders. Looks like the Medevac harassment will stop for the time being, but the pressure continues goes on from the Ognis. He's got all these Marauders. We've got some EMPs ready to go in those Ghosts as well. The Vikings coming across, trying to deflect the Colossi if they can. But I think he really should retreat right now, jump up in those Medivacs and speed boost out of there, because he doesn't want to lose these units right now, especially the Ghosts. He cannot lose these Ghosts because they are very important. Not only because they provide the EMP, but they also do a sizable amount of damage when they do have their 3/3 upgrades, which are about to complete for the Ognis. So it looks like he will in fact capture another Colossus there, taking it down with the few remaining Vikings that he has, and the macro continues from the Ognis. He's got all of these units now streaming across the map. We got Marines and Marauders still continually just flooding down the map here, and he's going to continue on with this attack, trying to get another Colossus. He does get it. Squirtle madly trying to get some defenses up with some Zealots coming around, but just not enough. Ognis doing ridiculous amounts of damage, forcing back the attack, and then dropping inside the main, taking down the big tech portions of Squirtle's base. So wonderfully done by Root Gaming's The Ognis there, doing a fantastic job against one of the GSL's top contenders, and I hope you all enjoyed that match. It was a lot of fun, and I'll catch you all next time. Is there. And Overlord just slowly poking its way through the main base there. Is going to have a quick look at the Robo facility. Is it